Once again, it's the political agenda looking set to shape markets this week. I'm Monica Gibson and Steve Pope joins me down the line for the Dukascopy week ahead. Steve, with half of the G20 economies having already cut rates this year, the G20 meeting will likely be concerned with how this may manifest itself as a currency war. Increased protectionism and capital controls are likely to be discussed, but are we expecting any major message from the meeting?
Unfortunately, this G20 will be like many other international gatherings, that communiques that come through at the end will be very nice and polite, talking about what they would really wish to do, but we often know that the reality is different from that. So I expect to see discussions about how jobs are vitally important now. There'll be a focus upon inequality, which is rearing its head once again. There will be issues about promoting free trade, and I think that's important, that we have to have free trade, because the only thing that happens when you have quotas, tariffs, embargoes and so on is that general consumer welfare declines. It doesn't serve anybody anything in the medium to long term to have trade restrictions.
We had a great US jobs report on Friday, but this morning sentiment slumped after further disappointing data from China, and once again the Australian dollar fell victim. Investors appear poised to see what moves, if any, China are likely to make next. But what are your thoughts?
What I think is going to happen is that China is beginning to slip into this muddling through, in that they can't help themselves but putting the hand of the state upon things when it doesn't go quite as they would like. And that is a concern. We know the economy is not going as fast as it was, say, 5 years ago. That's why you see the commodities fall, and the Australian dollar is a prime victim of that situation. I think you'll find that if the growth doesn't start picking up quickly, that we're going to be watching an increasing level of friendship between Russia and China, because they'll want to try and build some sort of economic axis between them that can be a buttress against any influence from the West. So that's my worry, that China might develop, but in a way that's really great for world trade.
Tomorrow, we'll see a plethora of data from the UK, which, because of the looming election, has increasing importance. Also on Thursday, Carney will take the floor. Now, markets took the BOE's rate hold in their stride, but Friday's disappointing data raised some question marks. Do you think investors will be left wanting following the inflation report this week?
What I think you'll find is that Carney will lower the targets for inflation, and in fact they could actually be calling the target to be below zero now. Now that's a concern for the people in the economy and all in all, because generally speaking, one of the great tracks of the UK was that we're picking up quite well. Growth was coming along quite nicely. What I think you're finding is that one or two of the economic numbers of late have been slipping, and that's not helpful to the current coalition government with the election less than 100 days away. What I imagine is that Carney will just talk about the need to be ever watchful, but certainly I think at the moment the idea of rate increases from the Bank of England are being kicked right toward the end of the year, if not even 2016. So nice words, but nothing really solid on action.
We have German data dotted throughout the week, culminating in GDP on Friday. Discussions are mounting who has the most to lose from a Greek exit. But with this and the UK economic environment in mind, what is your outlook for euro sterling moving forward?
Okay, when I was checking this morning at around about 11:30 UK time, we were seeing just about 0.7432, which is in the range because it's been finding a little bit of support at 0.7420. Not so long ago it was at 0.7570. What I would look for is that this is likely to decline, because I think that there's only one way the European Central Bank can act, and that's to keep a very accommodative stance at the moment. The Bank of England, they are in a similar situation, but it's not quite so severe. So I would look for sterling to start making gains against euro. My first point of interest on the downside to this is going to be about 0.7385. There are other numbers in between, but then the next big staging point to the downside, 0.7270. If I'm wrong and we do start ticking up, I would look for a first break of around 0.7495, so just under that 0.75 level. And if there is a further move higher on unexpected shift in the economic data, then I would look for 0.7605, just above the 0.76 territory as the next staging point. But my bias is to see sterling improve against the euro.
Steve, great to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time. Well, viewers, keep informed with all the events discussed and much more by clicking back to the Dukascopy site throughout the week. Goodbye for now, though.